Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again into the softball field here at Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call. Today it is a Davenport showdown here on the softball field between your Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks and the visiting Stoughton Lady Black Knights. Milford coming into the matchup this afternoon with an even 10-0 record overall on the season, 7-0 within league play, good to continue to lead the Davenport division standings. Stoughton coming in 5th place in those Davenport standings, a 2-7 record overall, 2-6 amongst Hockomock League competition. These two teams have played already on this 2018 regular season. It came in game number 2 on the schedule for Milford. Back-to-back road games to open up the year after they escaped Taunton with an 8-7 victory back on April 9th. They faced Stoughton on the road on April 11th, and they ended up taking a 1-0 deficit into the 7th inning of that game. Stoughton really playing well, pitching very well, shutting down this Milford offense through 6 innings. But the Lady Hawks were able to come to life in the 7th to plate 4 runs and ultimately escape Stoughton with a 4-1 victory. But the Lady Knights did play Milford very tough, not at all intimidated by the defending D1 state champs. So expect that same level of effort out of Stoughton here today. And as we get close to game time, let's jump right in now with the starting lineups for these two teams. We begin with the visiting Stoughton Lady Knights. Leading it off is the second baseman, Nikki Coppola, with the first baseman, Taylor Levine, batting second. Jordan Lyons is your third baseman, batting third, with Gina Carafa, the designated player, batting cleanup. Nicole Baker is the starting pitcher, batting fifth, with Sarah McGrath catching and batting sixth. Krista Machenzie is the left fielder, batting 7th, with Val Whalen in center, batting 8th, and in the 9th spot is the shortstop, Carly Estramera. And quickly for the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks, leading it off will be their center fielder, Kate Irwin. Emily Pierre-Gustavo plays shortstop and bats second, with Jess Tomaso, the first baseman, batting third. The catcher, Emily Hartman, bats cleanup, with Shannon Cormier, the right fielder, batting fifth. Kelly Reichert is the starting pitcher, batting 6th, with Maddie Bonvino in at second base, batting 7th. Sabrina Harstick bats 8th and plays third base, and in the 9th spot is the left fielder, Antonia Bonina. Your pitching matchup in this game, Reichert out there in the circle once again for Milford. She will be opposed on the Stoughton side by Nicole Baker. And softball underway now as this ball is driven in the air out to left center field. That's beyond the outstretched glove of Antonia Bonina and will be extra bases for the Stoughton leadoff hitter, Nikki Coppola. She cruises into second base with a leadoff double.
I got it. It's good now. It's in focus, dude. All right, we'll deal with it.
So an inauspicious start for the Lady Hawks as Kelly Reichert surrenders a leadoff double. Coppola at second base now for the first baseman, Taylor Levine, who shows bunt, sends it a little ways down the third base line, pounced on by Harstick. She throws to first to get the out there, but on the play, Coppola able to advance to third base on the sacrifice bunt by Levine. So the first run of the day stands at third base for the Lady Knights, and now their number 3 hitter, Jordan Lyons, will dig in.
All right, now let's focus on the game. Sorry about that.
A lot of energy coming out of the visitors' dugout along the first base line right now, hoping to once again take the first lead against Milford for the second time this season. Jordan Lyons up on the right side facing Kelly Reichert. And the pitch is in for a strike. Kelly Reichert making her 10th start of this 2018 regular season. She's thrown 55 innings coming into today's contest. And jumps ahead of Lyons by a count of no balls and 2 strikes in 55 innings pitched. Kelly has allowed a total of 42 hits, 20 runs, but only 9 of those runs have been earned. She's walked 9 and struck out 72. And there is a called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. Jordan Lyons watching that pitch go by. She'll take with her the first Kelly Reichert strikeout of the day. That keeps the runner at third base now with 2 outs and an opportunity now for Milford to get out of the jam. But first, they must face the most dangerous hitter in the Stoughton lineup, and is Gina Carafa. Gina starts off ahead in the count, 1-0, batting an even .500 coming into this week's action. Has 8 runs batted in, just outside the top 10 in the Hockomock League in batting. A lot of that top 10 consists of members of the Stoughton Lady Tigers. We'll get more into those stats as the broadcast goes on. In the meantime, a 1-ball, 1-strike count into Carafa. Here's the next pitch. It's waved at and missed. Carafa could not catch up to that high fastball from Kelly Reichert, and it's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count with 2 outs. Stoughton opening this inning with a double. Runner at third base now with 2 down. And the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. So nothing doing after the leadoff double. Kelly Reichert able to pitch out of the jam, and so scoreless as we head to the bottom half of the first inning. The Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks will take their first swings of the game when we come back next here on Milford TV. High quality pitching as that inning went on for Kelly Reichert, with the runner in scoring position able to get back-to-back Ks. Ending the Stoughton threat, so scoreless now as the Lady Hawks send their top 3 batters to the plate. Kate Irwin starting off, looking at a called strike 1. Nicole Baker, the righty, out in the circle. Now the count evens at a ball and a strike. Kate Irwin, so far on the season, batting .385, 15 hits in 39 at-bats. Pair of doubles, a pair of runs batted in. She's also walked 5 times, sends a bunt down the third baseline, and the throw, a good one from third base for Jordan Lyons, and is able to get the speedy Kate Irwin by a running step. Very unusual to see that. Takes a good quick release and a good hard throw over to first base to beat the blistering speed of Kate Irwin, but a terrific play turned in by Jordan Lyons. Irwin retired 5-3, and the base is empty for Emily Pierre-Gustavo, who takes a look at ball 1. Pierre-Gustavo with the batting average at .444. Taking a pitch up and away, jumping ahead in the count. Emily's next run batted in will be her 20th. She is second only to Jess Tomaso in that category. Jess with 22 runs batted in. A 3-0 count now. And the next pitch, that misses up. So Baker pitching very carefully to Pierre-Gustavo. A 1-out base runner now for Tomaso. Tomaso at .436 as Pierre-Gustavo does a little dancing off the first base line on that pitch, but retreats. Just with 7 doubles to go along with a triple, 3 home runs, and those 22 RBI. Again, Pierre-Gustavo coming off the bag on the pitch, and this time Sarah McGrath, the Stoughton catcher, throwing down. It's an 0-2 count on Tomaso. Here's the pitch. Just goes after it, sends it foul down the right field line. Defensively for Stoughton, it is Sarah McGrath behind the plate, Jordan Lyons at third, Carly Estremera at short, Nikki Coppola at second, and Taylor Levine at first. Left to right in the outfield, Kristen Mishenzi, Val Whalen, and Haley Stone, who is flexed out of the lineup, only playing defensively. Another 0-2 pitch is grounded, and that is through the left side of the infield for a base hit. Tomaso just sticking the bat out to make contact and delivered it right through the vacated hole between short and third. Runners at first and second now ahead of Emily Hartman. Hartman with a .553 batting average coming into this week. We talked about it in the game we covered on Friday, amongst the top hitters in the league, coming in with the 4th best batting average. I beg your pardon, it's the third best batting average in the league. Hartman behind only Kaya Enos of Taunton and Jamie Brown of Taunton. Here's a 1-1 pitch that misses upstairs. Hartman sitting on 9 runs batted in. Pitch twisting down the right field line, foul and out of play. Two balls and 2 strikes with 1 down and a pair of runners aboard. Scoreless for now in the bottom half of the first inning. Milford threatening. Looking for Baker to her battery mate, Sarah McGrath. And now the pitch is popped up out right where the infield dirt meets the outfield grass at deep short. Estremera able to make the catch. And Hartman is retired for out number 2. And that will leave the inning up to Shannon Cormier. Cormier, a .469 average coming into today. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Also with 9 runs batted in, 5 doubles on the year for Cormier. She's also walked 8 times to lead the club. Taking that pitch outside to even the count at a ball and a strike. And now this one hit hard but foul wide of third base. And that brings the count to 1-2. So now it's Baker with the opportunity to get out of the inning unscathed. Kelly Reichert forcing Stoughton to strand a runner in the top half of the inning. Milford with 2 on, with 2 down. And the 1-2 pitch to Cormier is in for a called strike 3. So nice job for Baker to get out of the jam. She gets the strikeout of Cormier, and that leaves Pierre Gustavo at second and Tommaso at first. So we played 1 full inning now from Milford. It is scoreless between the Lady Hawks and the Lady Knights here on coverage of Milford High School softball on Milford TV. Batters 5, 6, and 7 coming up for Stoughton in the top half of the second. No score. And Reichert's first pitch of the frame misses for ball 1. Facing Nicole Baker. Stoughton starting pitcher who effectively pitched out of a 2-on, 1-out jam in the bottom half of the first. Now takes a swing, pops one up down the right field line. Tommaso racing over, but that one out of play. Plenty of fan support, as always, for this Lady Hawks team at home. The stands full around home plate, and, of course, the lawn chairs lined up down the right field line. Here's a 1-1 pitch, grounded to shortstop. Waiting for it is Pierre Gustavo. Her throw to first is good. And Baker retired on the 6-3 ground out. Defensively for the Lady Hawks, it is Emily Hartman behind the plate with Sabrina Harstick at third, Emily Pierre Gustavo at short, Maddie Bonvino at second, and Jess Tommaso at first. Left to right in the outfield, Antonia Bonina, Kate Irwin, and Shannon Cormier. Batter at the dish now, the catcher, Sarah McGrath, who fouls one off the backstop for strike 1. The pitch from Reichert, just missing, maybe a little bit low. Hartman trying to frame it at the bottom of the strike zone, but does not get the call. Now the 1-1 pitch is waved at and missed. Reichert starting all but one of Milford's games so far on the season, looking for her 10th victory. And gets a called strike 3, making quick work of McGrath and getting her third strikeout in the process. Second on a called strike 3. Opportunity for us to cover back-to-back games for this Lady Hawks team. We're here on Friday afternoon to see Milford defeat the Mansfield Lady Hornets by a final score of 13-7. Reichert in that game pitching 5 innings, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 8 in the game. Delivers a ball to Kristen Mishenzi. Stoughton left fielder, batting out of the number 7 spot. A 1-ball, 1-strike count with the bases empty. And this one grounded over towards first base. Tommaso scoops it up, taps the first base bag, and that will put the finishing touches on a 1-2-3 top half of the second inning. We move on to the home half of the frame next, still scoreless between Milford and Stoughton here on Milford TV. Fans getting pumped up to see Milford come to the plate in the bottom half of the second inning. Kelly Reichert will get it started. Kelly continues to be one of the hotter bats in the Milford lineup this season. She swings at that first pitch from Baker and sends it foul. Kelly comes into today batting an even .500. She has 18 hits and 36 at-bats on the season. And sends this one out into right field, but well-positioned was Haley Stone. Only having to take a couple of steps, she's able to make the grab, and Reichert retired for out number 1. And that will bring up Maddie Bonvino. Maddie sporting a .485 average. Takes the first pitch for a called strike 1. Now takes a pitch high. Bonvino with 3 doubles, 3 home runs. Jumps ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Bonvino in a 3-way tie to lead the team in home runs with Emily Pierre-Gustavo and Jess Tommaso, all 3 with 3 home runs. And a called strike evens the count at 2-2. Milford as a team has hit 13 long balls so far on this 2018 season. Here's the 2-2 pitch, that misses high. A full count now to Bonvino with 1 out and the bases empty. And the payoff pitch, and Bonvino went around, tried to hold up on the swing as that pitch darted down and in, but that bat head crossing the plane, and Bonvino will take with her the 2nd strikeout of the game for Nicole Baker, who's looked very good here early. She allowed a walk and a soft single in the first inning, but was able to pitch out of it, and now getting the first 2 batters here in the second, which, as we have talked about quite a bit so far on the year, has been essentially Milford's favorite inning in which to put up offense. But in danger now of going 1-2-3. Sabrina Harstick trying to salvage something in the inning, a count of 1 ball and 1 strike on the number 8 hitter. Harstick did homer in the team's win against Mansfield on Friday. It was her 2nd home run of the season. So no doubter over the left field fence. One ball, 2 strikes, and the pitch down low. If Harstick reaches, we'll see Antonia Bonina in the inning. Next pitch on the way is a foul ball hit hard to the backstop. Count remains 2-2. A deep breath from Nicole Baker in the circle before releasing this pitch. It's sent foul down the right field line and just out of play. Full head of steam for Taylor Levine as she headed towards the fans set up in their lawn chairs. So everyone resets now as Harstick puts on a tough at bat. Baker ready, another 2-2 pitch, and looks like she took something off that one. It stayed high. And now a full count. And the pitch, that misses for ball 4. So second batter that Baker took to a full count was able to get the K against Bonvino, this time walking Harstick. It's the second Milford walk of the game. And now a chance for Antonia Bonina. And she starts off looking at a called strike 1. Bonina with the batting average at .471. Now slaps one right into the circle, briefly in and out of the glove of Baker, and then she has nowhere to throw the ball. Taylor Levine had crept in away from the first base bag and just froze. Did not break back towards the first base bag, and so Baker left out to dry. She just had to hold on to that one, so it goes as a gift infield single for Bonina. And now all of a sudden a 2-out rally in the making for Milford, with Irwin taking her second at bat. Starts with a called strike 1. Irwin thrown out on a bunt attempt to lead off the bottom of the first, thanks to a very good quick throw from Jordan Lyons at third. The pitch. Irwin able to keep the hands back. A 1-ball, 1-strike count. The next pitch is a hard shot foul just beyond the third base dugout, and Irwin now down 1-2. Harstick at second, Bonina at first. The 1-2 pitch. And Irwin again delivering it foul. Creeping closer and closer to our action camera down the third base line. Irwin trying to shoot that ball to the opposite field. Another 1-2, this one grounded towards short, and everyone will be safe. Unable to get the out at second base. No chance to get Irwin at first. And the bases are now all filled up for Emily Pierre-Gustavo. All of this developing with 2 outs in the inning. And the first pitch to Pierre-Gustavo misses high. Pierre-Gustavo walked her first time up, now swings away at the 1-0 pitch and sends it foul off towards the parking lot. The wind swirling in towards the plate. The 1-1 pitch is in the air out to right field. Tracking it is Stone towards the line. She can't find it. It lands in fair territory. Harstick, Bonina, and Irwin will all cross the plate as Pierre-Gustavo winds up at second base with a bases clearing double. that puts Milford in front 3-0. So some defensive lapses here in the frame for Stoughton. No errors on the board, but you think back to the ground ball from Bonina, back to the pitcher circle that should have been out number 3, but the first baseman failing to go back to cover the bag. And now a pop-up out to shallow right field. Wouldn't have been an easy play for Stone, as that one was hit very shallow, but looked to completely lose track of the ball in the sunshine, and it dropped several feet in front, allowing all 3 runners to come home to score. So the second inning yielding positive results yet again for the Lady Hawks. So 3 more runs batted in the column for Pierre Gustavo, as that ball is a hard smash to second base. They get the out at first to end the inning, but Milford does plate 3 runs, all with 2 outs in the inning. And they take a 3-0 lead on Stoughton here on coverage of Milford High School athletics on Milford TV. A 3-0 lead now for the Lady Hawks into the top half of the third. A hard swing by Val Whalen. Opening up the visitors' portion of the third, Val Whalen followed by Carly Estremera and the leadoff batter, Nikki Coppola. Comes a 1-1 pitch. That one in for a strike. Val Whalen, a distinguished basketball career. One of the top scorers in the league. So a multi-sport star for the Stoughton Lady Knights. And a 2-2 count. The pitch, it's a pop-up in foul territory. Tommaso starts and stops as the wind pushes that ball well out of play. Right now blowing hard from left to right across the infield. Wind keeping things a bit cool here as we continue on in the game. 2-2 pitch, and Whalen goes after it. It might have been up and out of the strike zone, but sends it foul to keep the count at 2-2. Cooler conditions here than what we experienced late in the week last week. Temperatures through a lot of our sports coverage last week over 80 degrees, in the upper 60s for the game today, as that pitch is right on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Reichert's been surprising a lot of these Stoughton bats the first time through the order. That's now her 3rd called strike 3. 4 Ks overall in the outing, as now she delivers a first pitch strike into the number 9 hitter, Estremera. And now this ball off the end of the bat, lined out to right field, but Shannon Cormier ranges in a few feet to make the play. And there are 2 outs. That went off the end of the bat, but traveled pretty well for Estremera. But Shannon Cormier getting a good jump on that sinking liner, and now 2 outs and the base is empty for the only member of the Lady Knights lineup that collected a hit the first time through. Nikki Coppola starting off the ball game with a double, but was stranded on the bases in the first inning. Now up with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Reichert back into her windup, and the pitch is swung on and missed. And cutting away from the swing of Coppola. And now the 1-2. Sent off the end of the bat, foul. Glancing off the first base dugout. Taylor Levine on deck, hoping for a chance in the inning for the Lady Knights. Another 1-2 and another fly ball out to right field. Cormier has that tick off the glove in fair territory. Now the runner trying to hit second base, and the throw is not in time. We mentioned it, that breeze now blowing from left to right across the field. It kept slicing that ball away from Cormier. She had it momentarily in the glove, but couldn't squeeze it. And so that will go as an error on Shannon out and right, a rare miscue for the sure-handed senior. And so again, Coppola finds herself at second base. Now Taylor Levine at the plate was credited with a sacrifice in the first inning, moving the runner along to third. A 1 pitch. And that one outside. Coach DeVito letting out a groan after that pitch was ruled outside. There's the 1-1, and that one sent hard but foul wide of first base. And so it is now a 1-ball, 2-strike count. All three of Milford's coaches crouched down outside of the third base dugout. Coach DeVito along with Coach Walsh and new coach Caroline Fairbanks, and her first year with the team in a coaching role, I should say. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and that's high. Of course, everyone remembers Caroline's offensive contributions in a Milford uniform very well. One of the bats anchoring the 2012 and 2013 state championship teams. Now a member of the coaching staff. Here's a 2-2 pitch, and that is in the mitt of Emily Hartman. A strike 3, 2 Ks in the inning for Kelly Reichert. And so Stoughton strands their second base runner of the game. It remains a 3-0 Milford lead as we move on to the bottom half of the third inning when we return here on Milford TV. Emily Hartman about to see the first pitch of the bottom of the third inning. It's a ground ball to shortstop. Carly Estremera to Taylor Levine over at first, and Hartman retired on just one single pitch. So now Cormier digs in, a strikeout victim back in the first inning. Takes the first pitch on the outside part of the plate for a called strike 1. Cormier with a very rare error, keeping that top half of this inning alive momentarily, but eventually a strikeout to the next batter brought an end to any potential damage on the scoreboard, and now Cormier able to beat out an infield single, sending that one slowly back up the middle. Shannon now 1 for 2. Hasn't been a lot of hard contact for Milford against Nicole Baker so far. As Cormier takes off, this ball is driven in the air out to center field, but it hangs up for Val Whalen to make the play, and Cormier has to hustle back to the bag after taking off with the pitch. That was about the hardest contact we've seen today, and it ends up going for an out. Whalen positioned well to make the catch. Milford now with 4 hits in the game. Excuse me, 5 hits in the game. 3 of them have been infield hits. And the double for Emily Pierre Gustavo landed maybe about 10 feet out into shallow right field. As Maddie Bonvino crushes this ball foul and out of play. And she is down, no balls and 2 strikes. Bonvino striking out back in the second inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's popped up out into Not quite making it to the shallow left field grasses, it turns out. Shortstop Estremera makes the catch. And only 4 batters faced for Nicole Baker in the inning. Pitches around the infield base hit to Cormier, and we have now played 3 full from the Milford High School softball field, where Milford leads Stoughton by a score of 3-0 here on Milford TV. 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Milford. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Stoughton. Now into the top half of inning number 4. Kelly Reichert about to face Jordan Lyons, Gina Carafa, and Nicole Baker, batters 3, 4, and 5. Lyons already in that right side batter's box, ready to see the first pitch of the 4th. And she grounds it slowly towards third base, and that is a foul ball. Harstick charged in on it, boxed it around, but it was in foul territory, so no harm. As Lyons heads back to the box, an 0-1 pitch is in for strike 2. And the next one is a ground ball stabbed on the way by Kelly Reichert. Grabs it on the backhand. Excellent job fielding the position for Reichert. Completes the 1-3 ground out. Now here is Gina Carafa. Warmed up alongside Nicole Baker prior to game time. The other arm utilized in the circle by the Stoughton coaching staff. That coaching staff led by Deb Parker, who made the swap over to Stoughton from Sharon, was the head softball coach over for the Sharon Lady Eagles, now taking over the Stoughton program this year. Stoughton making it into the tournament the previous 2 seasons, but tough win-loss record so far on this 2018 year. As Gina Carafa sends a ground ball back up the middle for a base hit. The first Stoughton hit since the first inning. Just their 3rd base runner overall. Carafa aboard now, Nicole Baker at the plate. She hits one hard to first base. Tommaso takes it the step over to the first base bag. Baker does advance the runner on that ground out, but there is now 2 down in the inning. It's the second 3 unassisted play on the day for Tommaso. Leaves the inning up to the Stoughton backstop, Sarah McGrath. She swings at the first pitch, grounds it to second base. Bonvino to Tommaso, and that quickly wraps up the top half of the 4th inning. So the runner stranded in scoring position for the Lady Knights. It is still Milford 3 and Stoughton nothing here on coverage of Milford High School softball on Milford TV. Nicole Baker out in the circle once again for the Lady Knights into the bottom half of the 4th inning. Stoughton hoping to break out of a 3-game losing streak, but they trail Milford here by a score of 3-0. Baker to face Sabrina Harstick to lead off the inning, who drills a line drive past shortstop. Jumping on the first pitch, and Harstick able to reach on the single. It's been a quality performance turned in so far by Nicole Baker in what has been a tough stretch for Stoughton pitching. They have allowed a total of 34 runs over this current 3-game losing streak, as Antonia Bonina holds the bat back, but looks at strike one. That includes a 14-3 loss to King Philip back on April 30th, a 12-2 loss to Franklin on May 2nd, and then most recently an 8-0 loss against the Taunton Tigers back on Friday. Tough stretch of teams for Stoughton to play, all in succession. KP, Franklin, Taunton, and now Milford. No doubt the toughest stretch of their schedule as this ball is lifted to shallow left. Mashenzi makes the catch as Bonina's retired. And so now back around to the top spot in the batting order, Kate Irwin, who is 1 for 3. Reached on an infield single her last time up. Milford scoring all 3 of their runs back in the second inning, all after the first 2 batters of the frame were retired. 2-ball, no-strike count on Kate. Harstick getting it started with a walk, then Antonia Bonina beating out an infield single, Irwin beating out an infield single, before Pierre Gustavo dropped one into shallow right field that ended up clearing the bases. Irwin now in the driver's seat in the at-bat, 3 balls and no strikes. She takes that one for a called strike. Sabrina Harstick at first, hoping to serve as the catalyst for another Milford rally, as she did back in the second. Irwin taking a called strike too, that fills the count. So we'll see if Coach DeVito puts Harstick in motion over at first base. She does go as the pitch is popped up foul. Irwin a little frustrated with herself after that swing. Baker ready with another payoff pitch. And it's another slicer foul out of play off to the left side. Emily Pierre Gustavo lurking in the on-deck area. And a late timeout granted at home plate. Baker into her windup. Stoughton coaching staff with a couple of words for the home plate umpire after that timeout was granted. It's still a 3-2 count. And now the pitch grounded to shortstop. The flip to second gets away. Harstick gets up, will move right on to third base. They will wave Harstick around to the plate. Kate Irwin racing right around behind her, and she will score. It's 2 runs home for Milford on a play that should have been a force out at second. Instead, Harstick and Irwin cross the plate as Kate continues to showcase simply jaw-dropping speed. Hard to believe there's another softball player in the Hockomock League that could make those kind of plays. Ball in and out of the glove at second base, drifted out into right. And in a flash, Irwin circling the bases. Will not go as an inside the park home run. Instead, it will go as a very costly error by the shortstop, Carly Estremera. That results in 2 runs crossing the plate. It'll likely go as a single for Irwin. And then the error allowing considerable damage on the scoreboard. A 2-1 count as we get back to action now with Pierre Gustavo, who sends one foul. That takes a hop and I do believe it ended up right in a truck bed waiting to pick up some passengers at the mouth of the parking lot. The 2-2 pitch now on the way. That's in the dirt. So 5 runs now on 7 hits for the Lady Hawks. Another full count, this time on Pierre Gustavo. Here's the pitch, and she goes after it, sending it out to right, but into the glove of Haley Stone for out number 2. So Pierre Gustavo now 1 for 2. Now 2 outs and the base is clear for Tommaso. She singled back in the first and then grounded out to second base to conclude the second inning. Hits one hard back up the middle. This one through for a hit. So a 2 for 3 day now for Jess Tommaso. And keeps the inning going for Emily Hartman, who has to quickly remove the shin guards before coming to the plate. Hartman a pop out and a ground out so far in 2 at-bats. It's a good pitch to drive and sends it out to center field over the head of Val Whalen, misjudging it. And they will send Tommaso all the way around. She will score as the ball ends up just in front of the pitcher's circle. Hartman ends up at second base with a double. An RBI for Hartman.
Tell me if I'm close or not.
Whalen
That's the only reason why I didn't go.
tracking that ball back, but then seemed to give up on it right at the end. Didn't even really stick the glove up to try to make the play, so kind of a head scratcher there as that one went over the head of the Stoughton center fielder. Pushes the lead to 6-0 now for Milford. 3 runs home in this 4th inning. Second time they've hung a 3 spot on the scoreboard. Courtesy runner down at second base. It's Amanda Wenkus running. Shannon Cormier at the plate. Takes one low for ball 1. Conference on the pitcher's circle before this at-bat got started. Coach Parker out to talk to Nicole Baker along with most of the infield. This is been the toughest inning by far for Baker so far. She's given up some harder contact than we've seen through the first 3. It's been this 3rd time through the lineup that Milford has finally been able to make some adjustments. Cormier, after jumping ahead 3 balls and no strikes, takes that pitch on the outside part of the plate, taking all the way. Shannon 1 for 2. The pitch is hit hard towards the shortstop. The throw over to first base is not in time. Estremera not able to get the throw there to beat Cormier. Had the runner to contend with going in front. Didn't attempt to make the tag or make a throw over to third base. Went over to first, but too late. It's the second straight at bat with an infield single for Cormier. Wenkus advances to third, so runners at the corners for Kelly Reichert, who sends a shot through the right side of the infield. That will bring a run in as Wenkus scores. The throw comes into second, where Cormier has to dive back to the bag after taking a wide turn. She gets in safely. An RBI single for Kelly Reichert. So Kelly drives in her 19th run of the season. Replaced on the bases by April Swain. It is now 7-0 Milford. Four runs now in this fourth inning, as Maddie Bonvino now sends a hard foul ball to the backstop. Bonvino 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop out. Now down in the count, 0-2. Gets into that pitch, but sends it far and foul. Still an 0-2 count, and the pitch is a liner out to the gap in right center field. That's down for a hit, and it's going to roll off towards the fence. Shannon Cormier crosses the plate. April Swain will come in right behind. It's a two-run triple, a stand-up triple for Maddie Bonvino, and that opens the lead up to 9-0 for the Lady Hawks. Milford really breaking things open now with the 9-run cushion. Bonvino at third, as Sabrina Harstick, who started this inning with a single, now will take her second at bat of the frame. Milford batting around. The 0-1 pitch is hit hard, but into the outstretched glove of Jordan Lyons. Her throw off line, but Levine able to reestablish contact with the bag in time to get the out that finally does end the inning, but not before Milford sends 10 batters to the plate. And they open up now a 9-0 lead over the Stoughton Lady Knights. Headed to the fifth inning when we return next here on Milford TV. Much larger lead for the Lady Hawks now into the fifth inning. Kelly Reichert getting a swing and a miss from the Stoughton left fielder, Krista Mishenzi. And now a swinging strike two. Milford collecting 6 runs on 7 hits in a lengthy bottom of the fourth inning. Now a pitch outside. So Milford now out hitting Stoughton 12-2. That pitch just narrowly missing the outside part of the plate. From 0-2, the count evens. Mishenzi 0 for 1. That goes after the inside pitch and hits it hard, just narrowly missing Val Whalen, the on-deck hitter. Now a pitch missing up and away. So Mishenzi hanging in there after falling behind 0-2. Now about to see a 3-2 pitch. And that one is on the outside part of the plate for a called strike 3. Similar location to a few pitches earlier in the at-bat, but that one ruled strike 3. Mishenzi takes a seat. Takes with her strikeout number 6 for Kelly Reichert, who now delivers one in the dirt to Val Whalen, who took one of those strikeouts back in the third. And now swinging away at this one, sending it in the air out to right field. Cormier. Nothing's been particularly easy out to right field today with the breeze, but Cormier able to handle that one for out number 2. Two up and 2 down now for the number 9 hitter, Carly Estremera. Estremera with the error that resulted in 2 of the runs crossing the plate in the bottom half of the 4th, including Kate Irwin, who had hit the ball to shortstop. More on that at another time as this ball pops out of Cormier's mitt. Unable to squeeze it again. The second error in right field today for Shannon. That allows Stoughton to turn the lineup over. Nikki Coppola now taking her 3rd at bat. A double in the 1st inning. She reached on Cormier's first error back in the 3rd inning. Now takes the pitch high for ball 1. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. And now that one missing outside. Plenty of sunshine here in Milford this afternoon. The breeze making things feel just a tad cool, but not uncomfortable. Nice spring day. As this ball is popped up out into shallow right center field, Bonvino backpedals onto the grass. That one really got over her head, but a hop step for Bonvino allowed her to make the play for the out that ends the inning. A runner stranded for the Lady Knights. They've stranded 4 in the game. We've played 4.5 now from the Milford High School softball field, where it is Milford 9 and Stoughton 0 here on Milford TV. A new pitcher on for Stoughton as we enter the bottom of the 5th inning. After Nicole Baker went the first 4, Gina Carafa takes over in the top half of the 5th. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to the first batter in the home half of the 5th, Antonia Bonina. The 1-1 is a tapper foul down the 3rd base line. Nicole Baker does remain in the game. She takes over at shortstop. Now the 1-2 pitch. Bonina lifts it out to left field down the line, but the catch is made. One out now in the inning. Looks like there's also been a change made out in right field where Alessandra Lafredo takes over for Haley Stone. The rest of the defensive alignment appears to be the same. So it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Kate Irwin. And the pitch from Carafa is a bunt attempt that goes foul. So Stoughton losing the designated player. As Carafa takes over in the circle. So Lafredo, who takes over in right field, will now have to hit as Irwin lines one through the left side of the infield, takes a very wide turn about halfway down the line between first and second before she retreats. As Mishenzi gets that ball back in.
Way to hold her. Here we go, Gina!
So 1 on now, ahead of Pierre Gustavo. Takes a strike.
Here we go, Gina!
3 hits in the game now for Kate Irwin. Takes a pitch high.
Here we go, Gina!
Pierre Gustavo a walk, a 3-run double, and a fly out in the game so far. Now jumps ahead in the count 2-1. With those 3 runs batted in earlier in the game, Pierre Gustavo extending her team lead now with 22 RBI. And she'll deposit this one out into shallow center field for her second hit of the day. Irwin moves to second base and holds there. It's 2 on with 1 out now for Tommaso. She singled and scored last inning. Tommaso opens the at-bat with a foul ball to the backstop. Milford's bench staying lively with the 9-run lead, looking for more as Tommaso hammers one foul off towards the parking lot. The 0-2 pitch is hit hard to shortstop. And Stoughton will go to third base to get the force out there. A smart play for Nicole Baker. Tested for the first time since moving to the position. So Jess reaches on the fielder's choice. Kate Irwin thrown out at third. And now first pitch swinging, Hartman sends one out towards right field. That is over the head of Lafredo towards the fence. Emily Pierre Gustavo scores. Here comes Jess Tommaso around. She will score as Hartman hustles all the way to third base with Milford's second triple of the game. And it is now an 11-0 Milford lead. So a double and a triple, and now 3 runs batted in on the day for Emily Hartman, who's now replaced at third base by Amanda Wenkus. Shannon Cormier at the plate, taking the first pitch for ball 1. She's reached on infield singles in her last 2 at-bats. Takes a pitch down low. The 2-0 pitch from Carafa is high for ball 3. Kelly Reichert would be next. Here's the 3-0, and that is inside for ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. That puts runners at the corners ahead of Kelly Reichert. Kelly drove in a run with a single her last time up, part of that 6-run 4th inning. A 1-for-3 day overall as the entire infield talks things over inside the pitcher's circle for Stoughton. Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks guaranteeing themselves a playoff spot with their win last Friday against Mansfield, going to 10-0 on the season, looking for win number 11 here this afternoon. And the first pitch into Reichert is a hard ground ball up the middle. That is through for a base hit. Wenkes crosses the plate with the 12th Milford run of the day. And that will be the final play of the day, as it establishes the 12-run lead here in the 5th inning for Milford, and mercy rules will come into play. And so Milford needs just 5 innings to defeat the Stoughton Lady Knights by a final score of 12-0. So indeed, Milford improves to 11-0 on the season. Stoughton, with their 4th consecutive loss, they will drop to 2-8 overall on the year. For any updates on Milford softball, we encourage you to tune into the Milford Informer every Friday night at 7:30 on Milford TV. A big thank you to our crew on hand for the game, our director, John Giacomuzzi, and our camera operator, Rob O'Keefe. And I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time in 5 innings, Milford with a 12-0 mercy rule victory over the Stoughton Lady Knights. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.